Imagine this moment. The battlefield is already filled with monsters. Wave after wave keeps coming faster and faster. Your board is under pressure. Units are attacking, but the enemies are getting stronger every second. Many decks at this stage start to collapse. Damage becomes too low, bosses start breaking defenses, and one mistake can cost the entire match. And in moments like this, everything comes down to one thing: the hero you are using. On one side, we have Wukong, a hero famous for explosive damage and incredible scaling. Many players consider him one of the most aggressive heroes in Rush Royale. On the other side, we have Valkyrie, a completely different type of hero. She doesn't simply deal damage. She strengthens the entire deck and changes the tempo of the battle. And that leads to one of the biggest questions players ask in Rush Royale. Who is actually stronger, Wukong or Valkyrie? Today we will break this down in detail. We will analyze both heroes at level 9 and compare their strengths, explain which hero dominates the battlefield, and determine which hero performs better in real PvP matches. But before we begin, make sure to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. On this channel, you'll find Rush Royale guides, hero analysis, deck strategies, and gameplay tips that help you climb trophies much faster. Now, let's begin the comparison. First, we need to understand one important thing. Wukong and Valkyrie are not just two different heroes. They represent two completely different philosophies of gameplay. Wukong is built around raw power and scaling damage. Valkyrie is built around control, buffs, and team synergy. Because of that, their performance depends heavily on how the match develops. Let's start with Wukong. Scaling damage hero. Wukong is known as one of the most aggressive damage heroes in the game. His biggest strength is scaling. The longer the match goes, the stronger he becomes. At level 9, Wukong already unlocks a very powerful stage of his development. His abilities begin to scale much better, and the overall damage output becomes far more reliable. One of the reasons many players love Wukong is his consistency. Some heroes in Rush Royale depend heavily on luck. If the board develops badly or the wrong units appear, the damage can collapse quickly. Wukong is different. Even if the board setup isn't perfect, he can still produce solid damage and survive most moves. Another key strength of Wukong is pressure. When you play Wukong correctly, you can apply constant pressure on him. His damage ramps up slowly, which makes it very difficult for enemy decks to keep up during longer matches. This is especially important in PvP. Many matches in Rush Royale turn into long endurance battles, where both players try to survive the strongest heroes. In these situations, scaling heroes becomes extremely valuable. And Wukong is one of the best examples of that. However, he is not perfect. His biggest weakness is deck dependence. Wukong performs best when the deck around him is built correctly. If the deck lacks synergy or develops poorly early, his damage can fall behind other heroes. Another weakness is that Wukong sometimes requires time to reach his full potential. In very short matches or extremely aggressive enemy decks, he may not have enough time to fully scale. Still, overall, he remains one of the most stable heroes in the game. The buff and control hero. Now, let's talk about Valkyrie. Valkyrie represents a completely different approach to the game. Instead of focusing on direct damage, Valkyrie focuses on empowering the entire army. Her abilities give powerful buffs. These buffs can increase attacks, improve damage output, and sometimes completely change the momentum of the match. The most important thing about Valkyrie is scaling through synergy. While Wukong grows stronger individually, Valkyrie makes every unit stronger. And when your board is full of powerful units, these buffs become extremely valuable. For example, imagine a board filled with scaling damage units like Monk or Demon. If Valkyrie activates her buffs at the right moment, the total damage output of the entire board can increase dramatically. This is why Valkyrie is often used in highly strategic decks. Top players love heroes that improve the entire deck, rather than just one unit. And Valkyrie does exactly that. However, Valkyrie also has clear weaknesses. The biggest one is dependence on board development. If your board is well developed, Valkyrie's buffs don't create a massive impact. For example, if you only have a few strong units on the field, the buffs will affect only those units. That means her power grows only when the board becomes stronger. Another weakness is that Valkyrie requires strong deck symmetry. Without the right units, her buffs may feel underwhelming compared to raw damage heroes. But in the right hands and with the right deck, Valkyrie can become incredibly powerful. Comparing Wukong and Valkyrie at level 9. Now, let's compare these two heroes directly. Both heroes at level 9 are already very strong. Their strength appears in different ways. Wukong provides consistent personal damage. Valkyrie provides team-based scaling through buffs. To compare them in simple terms, Wukong is about direct damage. Valkyrie is about empowering the entire board. Because of this, the outcome often depends on the type of match. In shorter matches, Wukong often has the advantage. His damage appears earlier and remains consistent. Valkyrie can start to shine. Once the board is filled with strong units, the buffs multiply the damage across the entire board. Another important factor is difficulty. Wukong is generally easier. He is more forgiving when mistakes are made. Valkyrie requires more precise deck building and board management. If